If there's one tool that's allowed ice fishermen to catch more fish than ever before, or at least go to spots where they think their fish is, mapping units, handheld GPS, cartography that allows anglers to go to different areas that they may have never seen before and drill some holes and catch some fish. Now I've got it set up on my four-wheeler as a standalone, and this happens to be Elite 4M. It's a mapping unit, and I have a map chip in there that shows me the specific contours of the bodies of water that I'm fishing. How I use this is typically on my four-wheeler. It's a smaller screen unit, it's portable, I can pop it on and off, but I use this to get to the location where I want to fish. Now when you think about in the summertime, we may push the boat off the trailer, fire it up, we have a spot we want to run out to, but because our sonar is running, we mark a bunch of fish and we stop and fish that spot. You don't have that luxury on the ice. Typically you're going to a location. So you want to have a dedicated mapping unit like this on your four-wheeler, on your snow machine, in your vehicle, so you can go specifically to that spot that you want to fish. Once you're there, then I turn to my sonar unit, and this happens to be an Elite 4 that has both GPS and sonar in it. But you can get by with whether it's a flasher or a sonar unit, because once you're on that spot, typically you're not moving around very much. You've driven to it with your four-wheeler, your snow machine, what have you. So you use the standalone mapping unit to get you to the spot, and then I use my sonar, dedicated sonar unit, to see what the fish are doing on the bottom. Now, if the fish aren't biting, in the case that it happens to me quite often, I'll take my dedicated unit for sonar, and I may study the map on the unit to decide where I'm going to go from that point. But you always should have a mapping unit, not only to get you to the location where you want to fish, but we're out here like this, it's a nice night. In the wintertime, you can have whiteout conditions, you can lose your trail because the snow is blowing so hard, you may get into blizzard type conditions. A mapping unit will not only get you to the location that you want to fish, but more importantly, it'll get you safely back to shore when you use it the way you should. Okay, once you're on a spot, we've got it waypointed here. Got it as a man overboard spot. It's a pretty good bluegill spot that I like to fish. But if we want to go to another spot, or I want to look around, simply take your arrow buttons and you create what's a cursor. And I can move that cursor around on the body of water to determine where I might want to go and fish, or maybe areas I want to stay away from. You can see here some neck down areas, some current areas you should avoid. But I'll take the cursor, decide where I want to go. Let's look at this little inside turn over here, kind of in this bay. And then all you simply do is hit menu, and it gives you go to cursor. So I would arrow it down to cursor, hit enter, and then it will navigate by the red line on how to get there. So it'll tell you the distance, it'll tell you the direction to go. Now, on the water, typically you can go in a straight line. In the wintertime, I may have to navigate around some pressure ridges or things like that, but it gives you an idea how far away that spot is. And I do some homework and study when I'm out on the ice, different areas where I want to fish. If I'm catching fish on a particular piece of structure and they shut down, I'm going to look for that type of structure or that structural element someplace on the lake, so hopefully I can go and duplicate that pattern. So mapping units like this help you get to and from the spot safely out onto the ice and back to shore, but they also help you figure out specific location patterns where the bluegills might be, or the walleyes, or the lake trout, or whatever species of fish that you're chasing. But mapping units like this are great. When they're mounted on the unit, it's not in a pocket, it's not like I have to stop, take it in and out. I can actually run with this unit and operate it on the four-wheeler. And it's pretty efficient when I'm out on the ice. So consider putting a standalone mapping unit on the ice vehicle that you use to get you to the spot to catch fish. The whole key about having electronics on your ice vehicle is making it simple and easy. This happens to be a standalone unit. I've got it on a handlebar mount, mounts to the handlebar. It's quick access, so I can raise it up, lower it down, put it in the proper position, whether I'm trailing the four-wheeler with a cover on it or whether I need to operate it. Now in this particular vehicle, I have it on the left-hand side. There's a couple reasons for it. the accessory plug is located on the left side of the light, but more importantly, the throttle on most of your vehicles like this are located on the right hand. So consequently, I don't have to stop to zoom in, zoom out. I can still be running the four-wheeler, take my glove off, or touch the unit with my left hand as I'm riding along to zoom it in and zoom it out based on the location that you're looking for. And most of the time, the function that you use when you're out on the ice, you're going to your spot, your primary function is zoom in button and your zoom out button, so I can see the entire lake, and as I get closer, I'll start to zoom that map in closer and closer to the spot I want to be. But make sure when you mount it on the vehicle, it's accessible. You can pop it on and off pretty easily. You can rotate it if you want. On the handlebar mount, I can bend it back down, loosen it up, tighten it up, and more importantly, I can keep running the four-wheeler because I've got the throttle over here and the GPS mapping unit located on the left-hand side.